Hi everyone, this is Jax here with Shalom Temple Journey, and I wanted to introduce you to Dan. Dan, how do you say your last name?
Stachofsky.
It's very interesting. I was not going to try to pronounce that.
Yeah.
So, yes, so today I wanted to have a chat with Dan, and he is coming to the Sustain Me Living and Wellness Fair March 16th through the 21st as one of our official EMF Essential Energies. He's one of our top sponsors, and I'm so excited to have him because he is very knowledgeable about EMFs and the dangers and the solutions to these EMF issues that we have going on in the world, right? So, Dan, why don't you give us a little introduction on about yourself, your company, and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here with you and with the people who are really doing the real work. And so it's just I'm really looking forward to this event, this conference, to be with you guys and learn all together and share some of these amazing things about our health, our life, and how we steward really all that we've been given.
Mhm.
And that's
That's right.
that is a big piece of who I am and what we're about. Essential Energy is actually a ministry. It's a 508 uh, unincorporated nonprofit ministry, and our whole role is to bring education and awareness and solutions the to people to help them steward all that God's given them, whether that's themselves, their families, their animals, their farms, and their future. And we want to do that holistically and in alignment with God and with creation. And one of the things that is really disrupting that right now is we've lost sight of the fact that nature and we are biological, but we live in such an electrical society now. Every electricity is everywhere. The electromagnetic fields from the cell towers, their cell phones, the computers, but also all the electrical wires. This has just created a field and a frequency that is well documented to affect our nervous systems, our immune systems, our energy, sleep. The list is pretty extensive. And I came to this knowledge not through reading books or studying, but really personal experience with my daughter who has passed on. She's gone home ahead of us. But the first 7 years, she struggled with kind of a complex medical situation, and um, her immune system really didn't have what it needed to fight off infection. So, in some ways, a bubble baby. We were pretty conventional minded at the time. Not, we were uh, hadn't had a lot of reasons to think outside the box with our health, but she really brought a lot of that to the forefront as some of the Western medicine approaches seemed to kind of get to a point and not really take her much further. We started looking outside to functional, holistic frequency therapies, just realizing that man, God made us. We're energetic. We're
That's
we're
right.
energy beings, and before the biochemistry, and like for digestion, before our biochemistry kicks in, it's electromagnetic signaling. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of communication going on in our bodies. That's all frequency, and that's what she needed. And so we found a technology, a device, a solution that we now share. It's these energy plates we call them. It's hard to come up with a name for them because they're these stainless steel plates, but they've been uh, re-engineered and modulated at the molecular level to change how they interact with light. And one of the things that drives all of life is sunlight and natural electromagnetic fields.
That's right.
These plates restore that balance and that coherence. So for Jane, almost overnight, her energy shifted. Her immune system was strong enough to fight off these infections. And we really had another 5 or 6 years where she was really stable. And it gave us so much more to life. We were able to stop going to the hospital every 3 to 4 months. We were able to actually move back to a town where my family's from, where we had a lot more support.
Yeah.
grandparents, cousins, all that. It's just the life got more rich,
Yeah.
and um, and as a result, we started sharing that, and people were asking, "What's shifted?" And well, you haven't done anything else. I mean, we try to live healthy. We do all the, we try to do all these things, but we have a busy family. We have 7 children still, and
Yeah.
um, there's only so much you can do. And so we just started sharing it with people, and now, man, we have blessed so many people. Uh, we're on a few hundred farms. We're in homes. We're supporting EMF safe clinics, EMF safe farms, EMF safe schools, and resorts and events. So it's really tremendous what God's been able to do, and how that has all come together. But it's all come from this point of pain that we needed a solution. And unfortunately, nutrition alone, healthy habits alone weren't closing that gap. And it's because of the EMFs, and we needed the help with frequency to get
Right.
there. And this product it
It's
just works in the natural realm. Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That's gonna blow my mind.
Hmm.
Do you agree that our bodies and our temples are magnetic electrical beings, right? And that's why we're being so influenced by these dirty energies and the Wi-Fi and the radiation. We are being affected,
Right.
being that our bodies are mostly water, there's a lot of water in there and it's being affected, right? So how does the technology that you work with, how does it protect the biosphere around our temples? How does that work?
Yeah, we don't live in the same world that our grandparents lived. We
Yeah.
now live in this electrified world, and that stimulates when that. So we have two systems in us or around us all the time. We have natural EMF and artificial EMF. In natural EMF, I think of it like a nice fresh glass of spring water.
Yeah.
You take it, your body understands the information in it. It registers. It's nutritional. It's energetic. It's life giving.
Yeah.
As soon as you add in a little dirt to that water, it changes it completely.
Wow.
The
Just a little
body,
dirt.
just a little dirt, that water now comes in. Your body doesn't register it the same way. It has to work a little harder to get the nutrition out of that. Too much dirt, and you get really sick. In
Right.
a similar way, the environment around us, we have the natural light, we have the sunlight. We go out there, that's healing. It's natural. It helps the body produce vitamin D. It's so, I mean, the number of things it helps with the body. I'm not going to list them all because it
Yeah.
goes on, right? But it helps with their sleep, hormone production. So,
Mhm.
but when we pollute it with the artificial EMF, it's like adding dirt to that glass of water. All of a
Right.
sudden, your body has to figure out what to do with it, and that's that stress level. So
Mhm.
now you're getting EMF stress on the body. That affects the mitochondrial function, affects cellular function and communication, digestion, a number of things like diabetes, cancer, heart disease were very, very infrequent before the electrical age. So we're seeing these chronic diseases and illnesses stick around and actually grow in number
Yeah.
really at the same rate as electrification. So these plates work at a photonic level. We call them resonant photonic harmonics.
Hmm.
So we're restoring the quality of light and the intensity of natural photons or natural light in the environment in our bodies
Yeah.
in a way that totally mitigates the effect of that artificial EMF. It's like we're putting that water through a filter, all the dirt's removed, and you're left with that natural spring water again. So we're getting more natural light into the body that mitigates the stress. It harmonizes the body. And we have done an extensive amount of tests now and researches. We've bioresonance devices measure this, and we've seen it harmonize 126 different points in the body. All different points that this device, the PS10, was testing, harmonized in 10 minutes.
Hmm.
Live blood analysis. You mentioned water. Well, blood also gets it can be destructured, and that fourth phase of water, that crystalline structure, can be disrupted, and all of a sudden you get rouleau. The ion balance in the blood cells changes, and they start to clump or change form. And within just a few minutes with these plates, that restores back to near normal. So the light information is really what is mitigating that artificial EMF stress.
In-
And it's the plates. This is our smallest version. It's a 1 inch plate that you can wear around your neck. We like it right over the thymus. The thymus is known for being very effective with the immune system, and so it helps. And a lot of times, doctors just expect the thymus to shrink and shrivel over time. And when you're old, you don't really have a functioning thymus. We actually like this over the thymus, and we've measured and see that
Detected.
actually helps keep that functioning. So um, the BioWell, we have another device that we study a lot of this with, and it's called the BioWell device. It's an electrophotonic spectrum scanner,
Uh-huh.
kind of like a gas discharge visualization camera that measures the quality of light in the body.
Uh-huh.
And with an adapter, we can measure the quality of light in an environment, whether it's a room, a farm, a
Huh.
hotel,
Interesting.
and we can tell with the different devices that just using these plates shifts that environment. And so the benefits really are that we're getting the environment to be balanced, to have structured light, and to mitigate that EMF, that artificial EMF, so that the natural frequencies, the natural signaling can actually come back. And we see that with all this data, that's exactly what's happening.
So it's like a filter for the dirty electricity and the dirty radiation that's coming at us. Is,
Well,
is it a filtering
photonically,
system?
right? Like
Sonically, yeah.
in the
Now,
bioenergetic world, yeah.
what do you say to people that say, "Well, I don't feel anything; it's not doing anything"? Because a lot of the people, they if they don't see it, smell it, hear it, they're not. It must not be working. What do you say to
Right.
those people?
Yeah, it's really is a reality of the systems that we've been a part of for the last
Mhm.
120, 150 years. And
Yeah,
it kind of comes down to which philosophy are you going to buy into? Is it a germ theory or terrain theory?
yeah.
And how do you believe the body is designed and how is it functioning?
Mhm.
If we're just mechanical materialistic view of the body and its chemical, then you probably aren't going to really grasp or understand what frequencies are doing and how beneficial frequencies could benefit you even if you don't feel it. And so I would challenge them to really start to go read works by like Fritz Albert Pop, Bob Becker, John Ott. Bob Becker wrote a great book called The Body Electric. And
Okay.
those are the primers, those are the foundations that I use to build up the pillar of knowledge that I have now. And I would encourage people to do that because it is for a lack of knowledge that the people suffer. And we're in that season of time where we've been a lot of this knowledge has not been shared or taught in
Mhm.
schools and in general knowledge, but that's shifted. People are learning now. I think the last 5 years have taught us that there's a lot more of the world than meets the eye, and
Mhm.
we can take control of our system and our body in ways that are honoring to the temple,
Mhm.
and we want to do that. And so this
Right.
is for me. This is why this isn't an S corp. It's not a business. It's a nonprofit. It's a ministry. Because when I first got into it, you just do the typical business school approach. You create your LLC, create a corporation, um, and you go to business. But really, that's not what we're doing. We're ministering, and yes, these are
Yeah.
products, these are devices, but they are solutions to something that we can't solve without them. Without a lot of prayer and a lot. I mean, there's
Mhm.
a lot going on. We're overwhelmed with the amount of EMF that we deal with, and so I think it'd be a question. Let's talk about what the world that we're in and
Mhm.
how does nature really work? How did God design nature?
Right.
And I think we'll quickly see that it's electromagnetic. Things resonate with each other.
That's right.
The bees are frequency generate. I mean, they live off frequency. And one of the reasons you get colony collapse is because, well, glyphosate, the chemicals we're using, and the
Everything.
frequencies
Yeah.
in the air, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot that we can do to steward the nature, the creation that we have been given,
Right.
um, when it comes to with energetics. And on that, I get asked a lot of questions. Well, frequency doesn't sound like it's just woo woo. It's out there, and I just encourage people to do that research, to study who we how our body works, and how we were designed, and how is it that how do the birds migrate, how do they know
Mhm.
where to go and come back, and how do the whales migrate. You're going to find that it's not chemical, there's a lot that we don't see, and it's not something to be afraid of. It's
Mhm.
just something to learn and be informed about, and be amazed by,
That's
truly.
right. Yeah, and then like even when somebody comes down with an illness or like cancer or whatever disease you want to slap a label on, a lot of the times, we are not seeing what has happened years before, right? We
Right.
don't see it. It's not an on-off switch. It happens progressively, right? So if you continuous to put food in the microwave, right? That radiates your food. You put that
Yeah.
energetically dead food in your system over and over and over again. Now, the first time you're not going to keel over, but over time, your cells are going to start responding negatively to that, radiation or that dead
Right.
food, right? And same with other, having other people around us, people call them vampires or energetically
Hmm.
vampires, right? So it's like being around that you can't see it, right? But your
Yeah.
cells actually feel it, right? And our
Right.
bodies are meant to heal themselves. There's a mechanism inside us that allows us to heal ourselves. But how does that happen? We don't know.
Hmm.
The creator knows. He made us exactly how we're supposed to be, but we have so many things happening to us externally coming at us. And I like that you said that we talked about the temple, and I do believe that the body is the temple. And we're more than just physical bodies. So
Yeah.
if you ask yourself, what keeps my heart beating? Do you think about, is there an herb that keeps your heart beating? No, not really.
Hmm.
The heart was created to function and do what it's supposed to do, right? It's a magnetic electrical organ. So,
Hmm.
right. So, what I hear Dan saying is that we are more than just these physical bodies, and you may not see the consequences right now or the benefits of these technologies that he's offering, but they are gentle and they're coming through to protect us, protect the temple. And I think that's something that I like to do is protect this temple at all costs. And with what you were saying about like walking into a room and these technologies modifying the environment, have you ever gone to somebody's house or a friend's house and just like, just kind of like, whoa, what's in here? Why does it feel so weird or different? Have you noticed anything like between your technologies before and after?
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting. There's a gentleman in Minnesota who had got one of our plates and the Max light tower with the stand, and he put it in his house. And he's a veterinarian, so he's all about, he knows animals, and he knows that the food, like he's a nutritionist, so he has a mineral program. He knows that's really important to get the right energy going. Well, he put it in his house, and without telling anyone, he had a friend come over, and the friend is an interior decorator and designer.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked in, and he had that exact response. He came in and says, "You you did something different in here. Did you paint? What did you do?" And all he had done is put the light tower in his house. Lady over in London had something similar. She said she set up the Pro Plus light tower on the stand, and I instantly could feel that shift in the energy in the room. It
Mm-hmm.
just felt calmer. It felt brighter. It took the edge off, and we run into that often. Uh, some farmers will liken it to feeling like, it's like it just looks like a nice, like, sense of presence
Hmm.
around you when you're on the farm. It's like you almost feel sheltered or protected. What
Hmm.
what they're feeling is that their body is more balanced. They're more grounded. And that because that they have less anxiety or stress buildup, less oxidative stress on their body, their cells are communicating easier. So one of the things that I learned early on is that we have light drives everything, but our body produces biophotons, produces light, and those biophotons can are instrumental in so many functions in our body. They pass information and energy for biological system functions. So, but they're not all created equal, and they're not all. They can have better or worse frequencies or energy to them. And so if we're in an unprotected environment, our biophotons are not as strong because the mitochondria aren't functioning as well. But when you get balanced and you get harmonized with the plates, your biophotonic emission is stronger and brighter, and you do get more energy, you get brighter. And it's you notice that people will see that in you, that there's a glimmer, there's something else going on. And it's a real effect of the body functioning as it was designed to function.
Very interesting. You talked about the mitochondria, and the mitochondria, for those who don't know, is it's kind of like the battery inside a cell, and it literally is bacteria. Okay, bacteria is keeping you alive and is giving you all the energy. So it's what I hear you say is that it works with your mitochondria and it feeds the mitochondria and gives it the environment to thrive, and so that it can make enough energy for you to, kind of withstand the stressful situations that are coming at us from all sorts of different areas. Now, you're going to be speaking at the Sustain Me Living and Wellness Fair. I'm really excited to hear your little lecture. Because I mean, this is a lot of information, and what are you going to be touching on at the lecture?
The theme I have for this year is EMF health, and that EMF health is not just about blocking, or it's not a sticker on your phone. It's not it's a lifestyle, and
Okay.
that EMF it's all and that it's driven by light, and so what quality light are you surrounding yourself with, and why does that matter? And then what can we do about it? Is it all, do we have to buy something for it? Is there other things that we can do? There's a combination of solutions, but really it's a lifestyle, and recognizing that just like mental health can be is something we have to manage, EMF health is something we have to manage whenever you walk into a room, whenever you walk into a space. How is that environment affecting you? And are we taking that into consideration?
Hmm. Okay, that's awesome. And are you going to have some of these technologies at the conference?
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have our large conditioner, the geofield conditioner set up. So it'll be an EMF safe event
Oh,
for you.
awesome. I'm excited for you.
And we'll see all that. We'll benefit from that. And then we'll have other devices there that you can practice with or play with. And usually there's a handful of people who kind of come around more, like very often, several times during a conference, and just come and sit with the plates, because it can be very balancing and just peaceful. And in some way, I think just as you get that light
Yeah.
in your body, you just benefit, you just notice it. And so if you're sensitive and you're coming to the conference, I really encourage you, stop by and take a moment to play with these plates. We have this one, some that are larger. Just play with them and see how they resonate with you. And I'd love to meet you and talk with you about it there.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time to harmonize yourself and
Mm,
us all in one room, right? Our
yeah.
mitochondria is communicating with each other. It's amazing. I love that, even just being in the same space, we are
Yeah.
communicating at a level that we don't even understand. We don't need words to communicate in such way because it's like I said, like the mitochondria, the bacteria, we are resonating with each other because we are electrical magnetic resonating beings. We're not just meat sacks. You know,
No, there's
we're not just
so
meat
much
sacks.
more. And even the
Right?
sunlight, I mean, there's just so much more to what we think we know about nature and about
That's
who
right.
we are. Um, everything it's just we need that natural light, that natural energy, and it
Hmm.
works as a foundation. So then you go on and learn about nutrition. You learn about being a medical missionary. You learn about being uh, all these other things that these modalities,
Yeah.
they all improve when you get your energetic foundation balanced. And that's
Hmm.
really what I think we offer is that opportunity to do that.
Right. And I see, when you're talking about the different modalities, we have Kelty Sea Salt as one of our
Yep.
sponsors. And I was just imagining water, salt, and these technologies coming together. Wow,
It's
what a powerful, simple but powerful tool that we can have in our own hands to help harmonize this temple. What do you think about the salt aspect of like hydration and how our bodies and our cells respond? Would it take it to the next level having these technologies like around our neck or in our homes?
absolutely. So you're by putting it on your body, you're mitigating the EMF stress, so you have less stress load on the body. You're also amplifying the quality and intensity of light being used in the body. Crystals, like salt crystals,
Yeah.
use light to produce frequency and emit frequency. And energetically, you get into a better spin with the salt. So I think that nutritionally, you're functionalizing the uptake of that nutrition from the salt, and you're making that salt more functional. You could also charge like with water, you can take a glass of water and you can
There it is.
take the plate up to that, and the light frequencies from the plates are getting embedded into or imprinted into the water. Water has memory, salt has memory.
That's
So
right.
you're it can be like a purifying or amplifying aspect for those properties of that salt. And
Very
the water becomes energized and actually becomes structured as well, which is
interesting.
also from the live blood analysis we we see that also happens with our blood. So with salt, it's tremendous what can happen with salt and crystals and things.
I mean, we cry salt, right? Our everything is salty, like our sweat is salty. So our body must be taking it in. I mean, besides taking it in
Sure.
from foods, it's either creating it or taking it in or some because we were made salty and watery and
Yeah.
magnetically, charged already. When a newborn baby comes out, it was in a fluid that is plasma. It's salty water
Right.
and it's a structure water that they're in, right? So when the
Mm-hmm.
baby comes out and then they're exposed to all these, crazy electrical magnetic
Yeah.
dirty energy, wow, having
Yeah.
something like this even at your birth, and labor and delivery, that would be amazing. I could just picture in my brain like having, putting these in around the babies just to protect them right away.
And one of the things with EMF exposure when you're pregnant, one EMF affects fertility.
Yeah.
So we've seen in cattle, and we have reports from some people who are using these the effect of the plates on fertility in like dairy cows and cattle and livestock, and then in people as well. So there is an aspect where we get to support the body's natural systems that way, but then you're in utero, you're having a harmonized, more structured, um, you know, your uterine
Yeah.
function for the baby. Sorry, kind of lost that, but yeah, uterine function. The reason I'm great is my wife actually she had 4 children before we met got introduced to the plates, and then 4 after, and so all those children have had basically a plate around them from conception.
Oh, wow.
And I think that you just see a difference in the pregnancy. You see a difference in that first few weeks, first few
Mhm.
years of life, development, and all. And so, again, it's EMF health is a lifestyle. We're not just blocking one thing. We're not putting up a fence around something. We're looking at this holistically, and how does it
Mhm.
affect all that we have been given to steward?
Mhm.
And our little ones are absolutely way more susceptible to EMF because They are, I mean, their water content is
Yeah.
higher. Their skulls are softer, and
Hmm.
there's definitely imaging of
Wow.
uh, the EMF affecting their brains at a higher rate. But we just and so we need to help them. Just like if you're not going to give your baby fast food every day. Let's not give them, they're not going to give them junk food. Let's not give them junk light every day. Let's not put those
Mm.
iPads right and tablets right next to their eyes where they're watching it every day.
No.
The smartphones, all of that is junk light. John
Mhm.
Ott talked about that. And this junk light is
Mhm.
a more serious thing than we lead on or understand. And these plates have helped so many people get over that and
Mhm.
solve some of that. So yeah,
Well,
it's a blessing.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're talking about light being toxic, but light can also be like food. Like our bodies are resonating with the light and taking it in as because it's amazing. It's blowing my mind right now. All
Mhm.
everything
Yeah,
you've talked about. So everyone, if you're interested in knowing more about Dan and Essential Energy Ministries, please come to the Sustain Me Living and Wellness Fair. It's March 16th through the 21st. March 16th, we're gonna have a kickoff party, live music, good nutritious food. Come meet and gather with like-minded individuals. And then Barbara O'Neill is our key speaker. Our conference starts March 17th. 17th? Yeah. And my brain is like everywhere with information about lights right now. But yeah, so I'm inviting you to come and join us and come meet some of these amazing speakers and Dan and just yeah, you're gonna be I don't know if to say upset, but you're going to be disappointed if you miss out. We can talk sometimes, but I wanted to thank you so much for coming on and sharing so much, all the wealth of knowledge that you have shared about electric energy and the solutions and the technologies and your ministry. And thank you so much for teaching us and
yeah,
showing up to teach and to, give us the solutions to the darts that are being thrown at us. And with
yeah.
that, I will say thank you and please join us March 17th through the 21st at the Sustain Me Living and Wellness Fair. Bye.